predicts the future of AI. Robots outnumber humans. Work becomes obsolete. Imagine waking up one morning without an alarm clock. Not because you're on vacation, but because work, as we traditionally understand it, no longer exists. You don't worry about rent, and you don't have to think about how to earn a living today. Every need, from food and transportation to entertainment, is met almost instantly. It sounds like a distant dream, but this is exactly the future Elon Musk envisions. In that world, humanity not only expands beyond Earth but also escapes something once thought unavoidable: dependence on labor. And when labor is no longer necessary, money, the measure of value for all activities, gradually loses its meaning. Sustainable abundance, a complex idea made simple. To understand Musk's vision, we need to clarify a core concept he often mentions: sustainable abundance. It may sound academic, but it's actually quite intuitive. At its core, this refers to a society where technology has advanced to the point that everything becomes plentiful. Robots and AI handle most, if not all, production. When the cost of creating goods and services drops close to zero, ownership itself becomes irrelevant. Think of it this way: today, to own a smartphone, you must work, earn money, and then buy it. But in a world of abundance, robots can produce phones at near zero cost, and you can access them without exchanging any value. When everything is easily available, the concept of scarcity, the foundation of economics, begins to collapse. From idea to strategy, how Musk is building this future. What makes this vision noteworthy isn't just the idea itself, but how Musk is working to turn it into reality. Recently, sustainable abundance has shifted from philosophy to a central strategy across his companies. Tesla, once known primarily for electric vehicles, is now focusing on humanoid robots. SpaceX is not just launching rockets, it's discussing space-based data centers. Meanwhile, xAI is positioned to develop powerful AI systems capable of solving many of humanity's problems. Taken together, a clear picture emerges. Musk is betting on a future where technology doesn't just assist humans, it largely replaces them in creating material value. A shift in Musk's thinking. Interestingly, this optimistic outlook contrasts sharply with Musk's earlier views. About a decade ago, he was one of the loudest voices warning about AI risks and the potential for catastrophic consequences. Today, he stands on the opposite side of that debate. He no longer sees AI as a threat, but as a tool that could unlock unprecedented prosperity. This shift reflects growing confidence in technology and a rethinking of humanity's role in a rapidly changing world. Motivation, vision, or business strategy? Of course, behind these idealistic statements are practical considerations. As the electric vehicle market shows signs of slowing, Tesla needs a new growth narrative. Humanoid robots, capable of transforming the labor market, offer exactly that. Sustainable abundance is not just a distant vision, it's also a way for Musk to reposition his companies. It attracts investors, fuels growth expectations, and opens entirely new markets where competition is still minimal. Unanswered questions. Who controls wealth and power? However, this vision raises major unresolved questions. If robots and AI generate most wealth, the key issue shifts from how to produce to who owns what is produced. Consider this scenario. If you no longer work, you also lose traditional income. But if production systems are owned by a handful of tech corporations, your access to resources depends on them. This is a major concern for many experts. Without fair redistribution mechanisms, a society of abundance could become a new form of inequality, where power is concentrated among those who control technology. Social challenges. What happens when work disappears? Beyond ownership, this future raises practical questions about how society functions. If most people don't work, tax systems, based on income, could collapse. Where would governments get resources to fund public services like healthcare and education? And further still, if everyone receives resources without working, who decides how much each person gets? Will it be an automated system, or a group of people in control? These questions highlight a critical point. While technology may solve production, social and political challenges remain, and may become even more complex. The dream of abundance isn't new. The idea of a post-scarcity society isn't entirely new. Throughout history, thinkers have imagined similar futures. Karl Marx envisioned a society beyond capitalism with shared prosperity. John Maynard Keynes predicted in 1930 that technological progress would reduce work to about 15 hours per week. Today, many tech investors echo similar ideas. What sets Musk apart is the scale of his ambition, not just reducing work, but eliminating the need for labor entirely. A world where robots meet every need. In Musk's vision, technological progress doesn't plateau, it accelerates exponentially. Robots build more robots, AI improves itself, and the system becomes increasingly efficient. Eventually, every human need, from basic to complex, is met quickly and almost freely. Instead of asking whether you can afford something, you simply decide what you want. In such a world, scarcity disappears, and the concept of value is redefined. The optimistic view. A better life for everyone. Supporters argue that the goal isn't to enrich a few, but to improve life for all humanity. Even if extreme wealth exists, it matters less if everyone else also enjoys a high standard of living. In an ideal scenario, people could focus on creativity, exploration, and personal growth instead of working just to survive. Current reality, still a long way to go. However, in reality, we are still in the early stages of this journey. Today's humanoid robots remain limited, and ideas like space-based data centers are still conceptual. This highlights a significant gap between vision and reality. Within that gap lie many uncertainties, technological, economic, and political, that will shape how this future unfolds. Conclusion. A hopeful or concerning future? In summary, Elon Musk's vision of sustainable abundance is both exciting and unsettling. It offers the possibility of a world without poverty, where humans are freed from labor, but it also forces us to confront profound questions about power, fairness, and the meaning of life. And perhaps the most important question is this: if one day you no longer needed to work to live, how would you choose to live?